The Ethel video is finally here. Before I get into it, I have my computer here just in case I need to fact check. I just want to say that if I say so, I didn't look up into many people's theories because I didn't want I wanted to try and come up with my own theories as much as I could, and hopefully they're at least a little bit unique. And also everything that I like know is from this like super doc on Google that I got from a Reddit post. Okay, so I couldn't find much about the Daughters of Cain cult. Like, it's in this document, I'm pretty sure, but I couldn't find too much. I read somebody on Reddit was saying that Daughters of Cain was also used as like an insult against women who were sinful and were doomed to have like a tragic life, which I think kind of like foreshadows, obviously, Ethel, the granddaughter, Ethel Cain, like the main character. I think it foreshadows obviously her life, but her grandma is the one who like started it. I think the reason I'm kind of bringing that up is because it kind of plays a little bit into one of my theories. Isaiah writes a letter and says, "Dear Mama, I'm sorry for what I did to her, but I did it for you. I love you, Mama. Your son Isaiah." Maybe he was like a part of the cult of the Daughters of Cain cult, and he refers to Ethel's grandmother as Mama because she's like the mother of the cult, you know, like she's the one who started it all. And so that's what kind of makes me believe. And because Hayden has said that the grandmother is like the start of it all and the end of it all, so that's what makes me think about it, is that it has to do, like, the grandmother has some sort of involvement in Ethel's death, which just ties back into Daughters of Cain, but I'm not totally sure. Another reason why I think that is because I have it written down here. In Ptolemaeo, I think it is Isaiah speaking to her in the beginning, and that's why he has like, you know, whatever, he's speaking to her. And then when she says, "I can see it in your eyes, he keeps looking at me, tell me what have you done?" ? I think that she knows that what he's trying to do is like sacrifice her. Like all that he did was just to, in the end, make her like this sacrifice for the cult. I mean, I don't think that she knows exactly that it's for the cult, but I think that that's what he was trying, that's what his thing was. And that again, going back to the Daughters of Cain, used as an insult, that it's for women who are sluts and destined to live a tragic life. And so because she wasn't really a slut, she had slept with her I don't know if she slept with Willoughby. I don't think she did. I'm not too sure. But with Isaiah, no, with what's his other name? With Logan, she had slept with him. And then so she wasn't necessarily a slut, but I mean, I guess because she wasn't married to him, like in Christian's eyes, they would think that. But I think that he needed her to like be a slut and like actually have to sleep with multiple men. And so that's why it was like a part of the sacrifice, and that's why he was drugging her and making her sleep with other men and like selling her, you know? I think that was part of the process.
You can't hide from me forever.
Once he starts the "Blessed be the Daughters of Cain," I think it might just be Isaiah kind of saying that prayer as a part of the sacrifice. I feel like I'm low-key reaching. Okay, so in August Underground, she's not dead yet until the end, right? Because she doesn't die in Ptolemaea. She's like in the process of dying, which is why she has, let me see, the death rattle. Terminal respiratory secretions are a sign that the patient is transitioning to the final stage of the dying process. So the death rattle isn't, you're not completely dead yet. So she's still alive in Ptolemaea. She has that death rattle at the end of the song. She's not dead. Then in August Underground, she's kind of like, in my head, I'm thinking like she's kind of in like a limbo. Like she's in limbo. She's not dead yet, but she's not like fully alive, you know? Like she's in that in between, which is why like when you listen to August Underground, like she's still kind of like, like, ew. Like she's like crying out. Like she's kind of like, oh my God, like she's obviously scared. She's worried. She's like dying. She's kind of like, am I dead yet? Like, is this what, like she's panicking, you know, like, is this it? Like, is this what is like the afterlife? Like, am I gonna be stuck here? Like, you know, she's confused. That's why she's crying out, and like you just hear that. Oh, and another reason why I think that she could have been a sacrifice is because in televangelism, end of the part, like, it starts kind of playing off key, and like, you know, like, it was like smooth that kind of first, and then at the end it was like, it just started playing off key and like kind of like ding 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 ding, like, you know what I mean? So then I was thinking, and I was like, well, it could be two things. So my theory that she was like was an attempt of a sacrifice is that like she was supposed to go to, she's thinking that she's going to heaven, but then like seems like, oh wait, something's wrong, or like something starts to kind of change, and she's like, oh wait, like this is not like heaven. I don't think I'm in heaven. And that was like that doubt at the end. But then it could also just be that like she thinks she's in heaven, but then she starts having doubts because she's like, or like she just starts thinking like, I don't deserve to be in heaven, or doubting like, wait, but I wasn't that great of a person, or you know, it could just be her like doubting the fact that she's going to heaven, or she feels guilty that she doesn't deserve to be, or she just thinks that she's not going to heaven. Yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing. But even if Isaiah was attempting to sacrifice her, I don't think it would have worked anyway, and she would have still went to heaven because all of that stuff was against her will, you know? You know, like in Jennifer's Body, how they think that Jennifer is a virgin, but she's not, and like the sacrifice goes wrong, like this kind of thing. These are kind of like more smaller theories. They're not too much, they don't add too much to the story, but just like little things, because Hayden has said one time that Ethel was trans, but then literally 2 months after she had said that, somebody asked her like, oh, is she trans or cis? And then Hayden said, oh, Ethel is like a vessel for other women, so she can be trans or she can be cis. But that kind of bothers me, because I feel like whether she's trans or cis is like, because okay, I get why she says that she can be either, because she doesn't want Ethel being trans to be like the whole story, which I get that. But at the same time, when it's, because it's like based there's so much religion involved in it, I feel like it plays a big part whether she is trans or not, you know? So it's a little bit difficult, at least for me. And I kind of wish that she would just say, you know, Ethel is trans or Ethel is cis, because it would make me like, I think a lot of, if she is trans, it would make a lot of sense with a lot of different things, and if she's cis, it makes a lot of sense for, you know, like it can be two completely stories depending on those two, simply because of the religion aspect of it. I was thinking, and I was like, okay, so the part in Hard Times when she says, let him make a woman out of me, like, I think, so looking at it in the way that she's trans, it could be that she had announced to her family, or they found out in some way, specifically her father finding out that she was transitioning from male to female, let him make a woman out of me. So he was like, okay, you want to be a woman so bad, then I'll treat you as a woman, like. And so I feel like that could play into that if she was trans. And then if she's not trans and it is just she's cis, then it could just be he's making a grown woman out of her. So like, does that make sense? Another thing that I have thought as well was that, but it also kind of doesn't make sense a little bit, because if she were trans, because I thought of another theory where I was like, okay, maybe she is trans, and then she had like came out to Willoughby and said like, oh, I am trans, and that's what made him stop talking to her, you know, because at the end of the day he was still raised in church, and he may not be as cool with it as she is. And so that was another theory I had, if like she is trans. But then I like, are you guys getting my brain how it's thinking? I had a theory about Willoughby being the one who started the fire that killed Ethel's dad. But I mean, of course there's like little is it plot holes in that, so it wouldn't make too much sense. But it's just, again, a theory, like it's not that serious. But I had thought maybe because Ethel says in the album, I forget which song, I think it's A House in Nebraska, she says, you were the only one I wasn't scared to tell I hurt, which I interpreted that like he was the only person that she could open up to about like the things that had happened to her, you know. That's how I thought. But I know that her dad died when she was 10, so I don't know if it's already like confirmed what age like they met, but I know that they knew each other from the church and from school. So I don't know if they also like they knew each other, but were they like already kind of friends, and then they started dating in when they were 16. Like, you know, so that's not totally confirmed. But my theory is if they already knew each other at that age and they were already kind of friends, that maybe she had told him that when they were young, and Willoughby started the fire and killed her dad because, like, you know, she says that Willoughby is the only person who showed her kindness, and that could have been like an act of kindness. Honestly, I don't have too many theories about Willoughby because I feel like there's not enough for me to like make some guesses. My hands look crazy, dude. I'm sorry, it's from the hair dye. I don't think that it's confirmed that she, in televangelism, she does go to heaven. That makes me think that maybe she isn't in heaven is because she still has like these doubts of like about God. And I feel like if you're in heaven, when you go to heaven, like you shouldn't have the doubts, you know. She says God loves you but not enough to save you, so baby girl, good luck taking care of yourself. That's kind of like, this isn't sun bleached flies when she's already dead. So like this is her like what is it, being okay with her death. But like, I don't know, I feel like and God, I've tried, but I think it's about time I put up a fight. If it's meant to be, then it will be, and I forgive it all as it comes back to me. So like, she's trying to find that she's like in, it's not like her final moments anymore. She's already dead, so she's trying to gain her way into heaven. I think the cicadas were also when you when you look at the missing person poster, I think of Ethel, in that little corner there's I'll put a picture, but in that little corner it says like, oh, the cicadas, and people are saying that it's almost like from the Bible, how like, you know, that happened. So I think that was foreshadowing, like, okay, this is all happening, like foreshadowing her death, and also like a sign for her to start repenting and like praying to God to get into heaven. Because in the Bible, God sent down this, I could be wrong about this. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but this is what I've been told, so by Christians. But the cicadas, he sent down the cicadas for the people. They had like 6 months or something to start having faith in God and like following him and stuff in order for them to get to heaven. So I think that's what the cicadas meant in that foreshadowing that she was gonna die with Isaiah. So in that moment, like, I guess God made the cicadas happen while she was getting kidnapped, like that same day, so she could get the message like, okay, I need to start repenting and praying to God and like put my faith, or like get back into my faith, you know. That's what I think. Because why else would they mention the cicadas in the missing poster? And then that's why she's like being so forgiving and sun-bleached flies. She says sun-bleached flies sitting in the windowsill waiting for the day they escape. The people are just sitting in that town, like waiting for something to come to them to get them out of this town, like being in the same thing, and like just this like generational kind of thing where they just, okay, we grew up in this town, we had our kids, we go to this church, like, you know, the same thing kind of, and they're just waiting for the day they can escape instead of actually going out to leave. Don't do anything about it. So my thought is that in Sun-Bleached Flies, when Ethel says, I spend my life watching it go by from the sidelines, that's why I'm putting up a fight, but in the end, if I bend under the weight they gave me, this heart would break and fall twice as hard. What she's trying to say from that is that she would just rather like run from home and try to leave than stay home and just continue that cycle. Because if she died living that way, her death would have been worse. Like, she would have had a worse time dealing with her death, you know. But because she like took that, she didn't just stay home and like, oh, okay, this is what I'm destined to be. She's okay with the fact that she ran away and tried to break that cycle of just staying in that city, and that if she would have just done that, she would have regretted it even more in her death. I think that's it for this video. This is actually a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. If I come up with new theories or new connections I've made in my head, I will definitely talk about it in one of my Taco Tuesdays. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and I love you so much.